everybody. For those of you who don't know me, my name is AbaData. I'm Chief Operating Officer of AbaData. Hope you guys enjoyed this morning's keynote. We're obviously excited about the opportunities ahead for our industry and obviously technology. So happy to kick off one of our first breakout sessions. In this session, we're going to be turning our attention to opLYNX, a product and team that's become an important part of the AbaData ecosystem. Delivering today's presentation is two long-standing members of the opLYNX team, Shelagh, Howell, and Crawford. Between them, they're bringing their deep experience supporting and improving the opLYNX platform and working closely with the opLYNX user community, which many of you are here today. These guys' commitment and insight has been really instrumental in shaping how we're developing the product. As many of you are aware, we did acquire opLYNX in 2024 to strengthen AbaData's ecosystem in field operations technologies. opLYNX is a separate product from the AbaData Field Ops suite, but we are sort of on the pathway of sharing data between the two environments in an effort to streamline field operations. But in this breakout session, Sheila and Rob are going to be walking you guys through the new opLYNX 2.0, which is going to be rolled out to existing opLYNX users over the next few months. And they're also going to be covering reporting in opLYNX Central. So these latest updates are obviously making inspections and hopefully your jobs a lot easier. I'll hand it over to Rob and Sheila now to take it away.
Okay, Tony, comment.
Thanks, Rob.
All right, so lots of familiar faces in here today. So for our presentation today, we're going to be talking about what's new in opLYNX 2.0, field inspections and production made easy. Amit did the introduction already, but I'm the Enterprise Account Manager at opLYNX. Some of you are my clients, others not, but nice to see everybody here.
I'm Rob Crawford. I'm with opLYNX as well, and I'm the implementation specialist. So I handle the support and the details.
All right, so what's on the docket for today? We're going to talk about what is opLYNX for those that are not familiar. Why did we overhaul remote? What's new in forms? What's new in production? And then we'll round out with some questions. I'll be honest, we do have prizes for this quiz. So if anything piques your interest, just remember it for the end. All right, so just a show of hands, who here has used opLYNX before? Okay, wow, all right. So I'm gonna get into, for those that haven't used opLYNX, a little like background context. And maybe for those opLYNX users, some new information might stand out for you. So opLYNX is a fit-to-purpose optimization solution designed to streamline data flows between field operations and corporate. It's a unified system where everyone is working with the same data in the most efficient interface for the environment and tasks. And it's a method of tracking inspections to meet regulatory compliance easily. But what is it really? Those are some nice words, but what is opLYNX? It's an application that works on your phone, on your tablet. It uploads your SCADA data. It orders trucks for fluid hauls and so much more. And all of these pieces communicate and upload to a central server. So you can have an operator entering an inspection on their phone, on the mobile app, and that will update the remote application. And this is the old remote, for anybody curious. And then this will display in the reports in opLYNX Central, which is our web application. And there are a plethora of reports that exist, but I'm going to touch on that at the end of the presentation. But ultimately, this is exactly what we spoke about this morning. It's the elimination of inspections tracked on paper, in binders, on clipboards, in Excel workbooks, hiding on a field computer. It's finding any inspection ever done with the click of your mouse and sending it to the AER with photos in about 5 minutes. If you consider that over 7 million inspections, or what we call forms in-house, have been completed in opLYNX, having that stored electronically in a central searchable database is essential.
No worries. So all opLYNX applications use the geolocation to identify any forms or production numbers needing to be completed based on your location, which works with or without self-service. This saves time with endless scrolling through dozens of forms to find what's needed for that location. This means driving up on site and only seeing the inspections that need to be completed at that site. Okay. So the range of the geolocation can be adjusted based on the size of the site to pick up inspections. For field operators, they tend to prefer a larger range so they can pick up all forms on the site. And plant operators prefer a smaller range so they can only see inspections within the current distance, like your fire extinguisher inspections on one side of the building or compressor logs on the other. This tool here is called Nearby Mode. It's represented by the red or green map icon in the top right corner. This option uses your device's geolocation to help you quickly find nearby forms, eliminating the need to search through hundreds or even thousands manually. Simply click the nearby icon to toggle the feature on or off. With opLYNX, you can easily tag your forms with GPS location. Each form includes an option that allows you to capture your current location while on site. It's a button called Current GPS. Alternatively, if you already know the coordinates, you can manually enter the latitude and longitude values directly into the form. Probably should have.
All right, so now we're pseudo at the start of the show. So what is opLYNX Remote? So opLYNX Remote is the tablet-based version of opLYNX, and it's designed for seamless use, and it'll work anywhere, anytime. So the app operates fully offline, enabling field inspections without cellular service, but you can still use that smart location awareness, automatically identifying inspections needed for regulatory and operational compliance based on your site geolocation. It's also, for those that want to use it, has a field data capture module for tracking production volumes on or offline. Okay, so why did we do a redesign of Remote? As Amit mentioned, with opLYNX now an integral part of the AbaData ecosystem, its refreshed look reflects the cohesive design and innovation that define the AbaData family of products. And really, another reason for the redesign was that it was time. Since its inception, opLYNX has demonstrated its strong capability to track data. With over 7.5 million forms completed, over 5 million truck tickets entered, over 4 million service requests made, so that is a request for a fluid haul or to order propane to the site, and 100 million production records entered. I think it's easy to say that opLYNX was due for a facelift. So how did we do the redesign? So AbaData's in-house UX UI designer led the creative direction for the new opLYNX interface. The redesign ensures visual consistency across the AbaData family of products. Our in-house opLYNX development team brought the design vision to life with precision and speed, and the close collaboration between design and development enabled a seamless user experience from concept to launch. So Cam Loken, our AbaData designer who designed the new remote interface, went through many iterations to get to the final design. This is not the final design, I just wanted to show you some drafts from Figma. All right, so here we are. Here is Remote 2.0. It's a modernized user experience. We redesigned the interface to bring opLYNX into the 21st century, aligning with current design standards and user expectations. It's a streamlined, intuitive layout. It's a cleaner, more accessible layout that enhances the ease of use while reducing training time and user friction. But it's a preserved core functionality. So we maintain the powerful capabilities trusted for production reporting and field operations inspections, but now delivered through a user-friendly interface.
So now we're going to get into the opLYNX form side of it, the operational forms. And what's changed with the operational form side of things? So we've designed the layout. Our search options have moved in here. Everyone can hear me fine? Okay, perfect. Sounds good. So previously, all search functions were located at the bottom of opLYNX Remote. In 2.0, the search tools have been streamlined and relocated to the top portion, as you can see. And, sorry, providing a simpler and more intuitive design layout. So we now have the form type selection as the first option. This option allows you to select a single form type, such as a pigging form or a work order. Selecting this option will then return all forms of that type in the grid. Active and complete. These options allow you to further refine your search by active status, which means any form that currently has a status of created, progress, or completed. Unchecking this option will return all forms. The complete checkbox, when checked, will display any completed forms for the current run and date selected. The add new form option functions exactly as it sounds. It allows you to create a new form. And based on the structure of hierarchy of groups and types. When you select this option, a simple pop-up window will appear and guide you through the process. The first step is to choose a group. Let's just go back here real quick, sorry about that. So, which determines, when you select a group, it determines the general category or form, what the form will belong to, sorry. So if you need to complete a safety form, such as first aid, kit inspection, you would select the safety. So once you select the safety group, then it's going to give you another option, the type of form you want to select. So once you get into your safety group, these group options can be customized and worded to match your organization's specific needs. After selecting a group, you're going to get the type option. Now this will be the exact form that you want to select. What it will do once you make your selection, you'll get the form type. So whether it's a GeoNote or you have like your fire extinguisher like you were selecting before, and then it will close the window and bring up that form for you to fill out. We'll go through that in a later slide. So once we go on to the next one, your next search option is your search bar. This option provides a simple search bar that allows you to enter a keyword related to the form keys area in your main grid. Where all your forms are displayed, we'll go over the form keys in more detail shortly. So our next slide introduces the main layout of opLYNX Remote. Here you can view all of your forms organized in a table format, grouped by status, type, and other key details that help you easily manage and track your forms. The first column in the grid is status. When a form is first created, it will automatically be assigned to status created. You can view the status directly in the main grid. Along with other statuses that appear based on your selected search criteria, you have in progress, you have completed, you have all your other statuses. In a later section, we'll show you how to update or change the status directly within your form. If you've used opLYNX before, you'll recognize some familiar features carried over from the previous version, such as status and type. In opLYNX 2.0, we've introduced a few new columns to make it easier to identify your forms and simplify your options. For example, the OF number column has been added in this one. This is a unique 9-digit identifier for each form. So some of you guys might have seen this before in our forms in the original opLYNX. Those who haven't, there's a 9-digit number for each form that's created, and it's unique to that specific form. So you can search using that OF number in Central itself. So Central is a web-based form of opLYNX, and that lets you search up that form and any details on it. The type column displays a specific type of form shown on your main page. You may see multiple types listed here, such as eye wash station, chemical tracking, and many others. You can scroll through the list to view all forms or use the search options to narrow down which forms are displayed. The start date on a form indicates the specific date when the form schedule begins. For example, an eye wash station inspection is typically performed monthly. So you would usually set the start date at the beginning of the month with the end date on the last day of the month. This gives the operator the full month to complete the form before it becomes overdue. The start date on the form indicates, here we go, sorry about that. The due date column serves as an indicator showing whether a form is overdue. A form is considered overdue when its end date is passed. The form key section displays key details for each form, such as the surface location, the unit number, or location name. Within a form, specific items can be set as key indexes, which determine what information appears in this column. Any details entered in these key fields will automatically be shown in the form keys column. This column is unique because its contents are searchable. Any details that you can type in the key details in the search bar above, you can quickly locate and search a form using that search bar. The copy option has been moved to its own dedicated column. So this option before used to be down at the bottom along the bottom of opLYNX in the original one, and you could click on it and you could copy your form, create a new one with it. Now we moved it to the side, and it makes it so much simpler because now it's got a button for each form, so you can copy each form individually instead of having to select the form and click the copy button. It removes one step. The expire option has also been moved to its own dedicated column, and it's the same thing. It allows you to expire the form directly, clicking on the button directly beside the individual form, instead of selecting the form first and then clicking on it later. So each form is displayed here on its own row. When clicking on one of them, you will be taken to the form itself, where you can view the date or to fill out necessary information for that form. For those who have not seen opLYNX before, this is a standard form layout. For current or past users, you will notice a few changes in opLYNX 2.0. The options for your start date, your due date, even the back button has moved from the bottom of the form to the top portion. If you want to exit out of the form, you can simply click on the back button here. If you made any changes to the form, it will prompt you to save or discard changes. Otherwise, we'll just exit back to the main form grid. The start and due date function, the same as before, simply select your date range. The start and due date have been updated visually for a little more clarity for the user. And positioned at the top of the form instead of the bottom. You'll also see the options where you can select the run name, the user, and there's an attachment button, so you can attach an image or a PDF to the form as well. Don't forget to save your form, obviously. On the main page, we discussed the status column. When you open a form, you'll see a drop-down menu just below the back button in your opLYNX 2.0 form. Clicking this drop-down allows you to change the status of the form directly. So you have many options for it as well. You have your in progress, your suspended. So these different options allow you to change the status on the form so that whenever you have, say, active checked off, it will only show the specific status forms that you have selected for them. Finally, when filling out your form, you'll notice that unlike the legacy opLYNX where the entire field was colored green or orange for completed or mandatory fields, there is a smaller visual color at the bottom of the field. A strip of green or orange to let you know that this item is needed to be filled out in order to complete the form. Chia?
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you.
All right. now for the module that everybody has been waiting for, maybe production. So opLYNX has an application available for the tablet that can sit on top of a client's field data capture, or it can be a standalone application for field data capture, and it all works without cellular service. So I'm going to talk about what's changed. So as Rob highlighted, we've updated remote with an intuitive layout on the main page. So the key buttons have been intuitively placed. The user interface is kind of in keeping with that standard for mobile software. At the top, you've got your location services. There's also your connection to the main system and your GPS being on or off. And also, we now have tabs along the bottom for quick access between modules. So for clients that do not have the production module and they're strictly using forms, they wouldn't see production services or tickets. All right, so this is probably my favorite part of the update. It's the main page updates. So you can now see along the very top are the production totals by battery, and they're auto-calculated production volumes for that day. So as the operators, they're working on their tablets, they have no cellular service, they can click on any of the items that are in blue from this main screen, and they can just key them in without having to flip between different screens to key in those readings. So they're entering take readings, chart readings, your hours on production, then they get a little pop-up for their downtime code, and they can put all those details in here on the main screen, but then at the same time, you would see the production calculations along the top. Now, don't judge these production numbers right now because I was working in a test environment and I kind of just threw in random numbers. So one of the new features that our user acceptance testers really loved is the trends option available on the main screen. So what we're looking at here on this main line, so that's just one row of data that would be entered, but on the far right-hand side is the trend button. And so you can trend your well data, you can trend your tank data, you can trend anything at all just by clicking on the button, and you can see the report in behind. And obviously this is my wonky test data that you're looking at here. And you're only being able to trend and see the data for what's stored in the tablet. All right, so that's all well and good to enter in your main data on that main screen. But let's be serious. Quite often we need to actually click and enter in the more detailed readings. So you can click on any component to enter more detailed information, or you can click on the component to see any more detailed configuration information for that component. So I say component, that's a chart, a meter, a well, a tank. So when we're talking about who wants the additional data, let's be serious. It's production engineers calling the field, asking for, any, I don't know, updated tubing and casing pressures, that's sort of basic, but you know, all the things that our engineers like to see, and they can enter in, so what's highlighted in green, or if it's orange, those are the mandatory fields so that everything calculates, and then everything else is sort of additional. But also from here, okay, that just slide up properly that time. We can also, the operators can view the config data. I call it config data, but it could kind of be anything. Like for some of our clients, they might have H2S readings that they wish to see for a well, or we're looking at what pump make model is in there, and all of those details. This one's a little light on config, but you get the idea of everything that could be stored in there, and it's accessible for an operator, as I said, without self-service directly in the field. All right, so another feature that is available in opLYNX Remote in our new version here is the ability to quickly see production values and historical trends from any component. So we talked about the trends, but what if you actually want to be able to see those numbers? So here, if you look at the screen, I have, is it a well? Yeah, sorry, it's a well. Just checking. And so if you click on the little reports button on the top there, you get a little pop-up option depending on the type of component you're looking at. So here it's a well, so you can click to grab well history, well test history, or just the last test data. So let's say we click on well history.
Good sliding spot view.
All right, and there you are, your report. Is it basic? Yes, but does it have all the data that the operators want to see? Yes, it does. And that's just, as I said, it's what's stored on the tablet, so operators can always choose to store less data, but for the most part, it's about 40 days that they would store by default. Another feature from the main screen, I just grabbed a little snippet there, but next to the battery calculation, on the top of the main screen is the details button. So from this, you can quickly view production calculations, just the basics, and as I said, this is my test data, so let's not judge how well this battery performed, but we're looking at your current daily values for what it produced, and then the previous values. You can look at your well estimated, your measured, closing tank inventories, metered in, metered out, et cetera, and it all balances that way. But also from the screen, you can click on the fluid production trends or fluid ticket out trends. That was an operator request that we actually added so they could trend truck tickets for that battery. Oh, let's say trend. Yes, so this is some of my lovely trending data. And it's got a legend on the top. So the next module is service requests. For many of our oil producers, this is an integral part of the production module. Service requests are used to request a truck for fluid hauling from specific tanks, or they can place a propane order. So we've got a new design interface. You can quickly see all the service requests. You can quickly filter by status, type, date. But one of the new features, probably not very exciting to people here, but for our end users, this new Mark Complete feature is just like a fave. They just love being able to check off your service requests to mark them complete quickly because it cleans up their view. Moving on from service requests, we're into truck tickets. So the truck ticket screen, it changed to the intuitive model. You can filter by date, you can do your quick search, and also same as the service request screen, you can mark, just do like a little, it's a tab on the tablet, so just check off the verify button. So this is a screen that shows what a truck ticket looks like. So when an operator goes to add a truck ticket, they can associate it with the service request. And when they do that, it auto-populates the key data. I kind of had to hide most of it, but it auto-populates the key data. Which tank did it come from? Which disposition or which facility was it delivered? And all of the data. And then they just need to update your truck ticket number. Definitely update that fluid volume and the cut and the truck unit. And for the most part, it's just a few simple clicks and taps and it comes through. This mic is playing games on us. And front of mind, I mean, for those using the app, when opLYNX detects that a vehicle is in motion, unlike our cell phones, it actually automatically switches to travel mode. And this mode locks the screen to prevent use while driving, and it also performs a data sync when cellular coverage is available. So the data sync is basically when all the data is sent to the main server. So this would be the view that they would see. I was driving very fast taking this screenshot. It was very dangerous.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, so it's all well and good to talk about all of this data, storing the data, and what happens to it. But what does this mean? Besides saving time entering inspections in the field, what happens to the data? Here are a few examples. So we have integrations into our third-party providers. We have APIs for forms, i.e. inspections, and truck tickets. We can track at the vendor or the client's request operator time on equipment and wells. We have access sign-off compliance for some of our clients. We have timesheet tracking, and we also have cross-ship reports. There's so much more beyond that, but those are some examples. I'll go through one report without getting into the millions that exist, because this one's kind of pertinent. So let's take a look at deficiency tracking. So when a question is answered as unsatisfactory on a form, these are flagged as a deficiency and they're tracked on our dashboards. So you have ground staining, it's tracked. Something failed, I don't know what would fail, something failed, and it's gonna be tracked on a report. So the deficiencies, we just have many ways that they're categorized, but one way would be to categorize them by form. So you could be looking at all of your tank inspection deficiencies, not shown on here. You could sort by all of your ground staining or your noxious weeds and have a crew go out and just look at those deficiencies. And when they are, what's the word, fixed, satisfied, repaired, then they do come off the deficiency dashboard. And that's marked as complete. So I joke, but regulatory compliance is actually front of mind on these inspections. Missed regulatory tasks can lead to significant operational issues, such as leaks, stuck tanks, and non-compliance, all of which pose risks to safety, efficiency, and reputation. Effectively managing and monitoring regulatory tasks mitigates these risks and drives operational success. This is one report that captures any and all, well, okay, let me back up. So we have reports that capture any and all aspects of regulatory compliance. Inspections can be, as Rob touched on, categorized by regulatory compliance or operational, and then all of the scheduled inspections can roll up into various dashboards to track this compliance. Our clients have seen countless improvements and efficiencies. So here are a few standout examples. We have one client extending Presco check intervals. So clients using dual protection on pump jacks have successfully extended Presco check intervals from every 2 months to quarterly. Savings are based on the site distance and the well pressure buildup times. We've also streamlined the well down process. We've improved coordination between field and office teams that led to quicker and more organized responses to rig requests. So we've reduced the response time from 6 days to 2 for getting a rig on site. We've also optimized pigging intervals. Operators historically relied on qualitative assessments like lots of wax and lots of sludge, which varied between individuals. But by using opLYNX to snap a photo of pigs and monitor the pipeline conditions over time, clients have justified extending pigging intervals, freeing up valuable time for operators. If an inspection exists in opLYNX, there's a report for that. From Power BIs to SSRS, Want to export your D13s into a format that you can upload directly into the AER? There's a report for that. Want to see wax on a pig? There's a report for that. Want to track time spent on a location? There is a report for that. And with a robust business intelligence team, there is a report for anything that your heart desires. So as we can see, opLYNX's facelift was long overdue. opLYNX is a product that provides value to our clients, and it warranted an interface that matched its capabilities and industry impact. It's got a modern look with the same reliable power, it's refreshed, and it aligns with the user expectation without compromising the trusted production and inspection functionality that opLYNX is known for. It's smarter, simpler, faster, enhanced layouts, intuitive navigation, and context-aware forms improve efficiency and reduce training time for both new and experienced users. And it has new features that work the way you do. So we've got mobile optimized entry, offline capabilities, visual attachments, and streamlined data views, all designed around real workflows. All right, so that's our presentation on opLYNX Remote 2.0. I did say you have prizes for questions, so I would encourage anybody who does have a question, they can just put up a hand. And we have a prize for the first question. Oh, now there's competition. You in the best there, I saw your hand first.
So I have a couple of questions.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering what the difference is between this and field plots
Yes.
for inspection.
Yes.
Why there's two different plots?
Okay, so Field Ops was a product that already existed with AbaData, and AbaData acquired opLYNX. So opLYNX functions, and opLYNX has been around for 25 years. So it's a completely separate module, and there is a duplication there because AbaData's goal was sort of to acquire those in the industry.
Will there be an integration so that it's not?
Well, in terms of the roadmap, not anything immediate. They are looking at, as Amit had mentioned, a data integration, but for the most part at this time, we will keep opLYNX separate, and potentially in the future, it might be something that they would explore. opLYNX has some very powerful capabilities like the production module, and FieldOps doesn't have a production module yet.
So who would use opLYNX as opposed to field ops?
Historical clients. Yeah,
And then one more question.
yes,
Um,
she wants the prize.
During your fitness program,
Yeah.
what is the difference between that and what is kind of like an AbaData administration? Are they very similar? They're similar. They give you awareness.
That's a really good question, and I actually don't have the answer for you. I haven't seen her do yet, but I will today. Yeah, thank you.
That's very good.
Yeah, for sure.
Guys,
So,
the one on top there?
the one on top.
Yeah, you're gonna love it.
Congratulations.
I saw a couple other hands, yeah?
Yeah, thanks. So I've used opLYNX before.
Okay,
And I love what you guys are doing and help you out.
yeah,
Having said that, you validated the fact that you got the
yes,
box.
yeah,
I've seen it done quite. That's about most of the price you have, so good.
yeah,
Production you have or thing.
yeah.
What are you trying to put in to like 70 tax? Clients look like it's the get to pay that price.
Oh, yeah.
Use something very functional and sustainable. How we have the ones. For instance, you would have the same well where you put a talking data and you create the second check.
Yeah,
Just to get that. The actual people use science. data.
Yeah.
How do you guys run its user code? I understand that you also have platform where you try to present the data, right?
Yeah.
Some of the clients have some maybe you like we have
Yeah.
So we want to speak to your well, how are you trying to manage all the data into that in the way that the user code carries?
Yeah, so I would say that is twofold. So first, with our production module, we do usually sit on top of a client's FTC, but not exclusively. We are the FTC for some clients. But the second part of that, with that being said, is that opLYNX has unique data that is only within opLYNX, and it doesn't exist in the client's field data capture system. And so, I mean, some of our clients in the room know we are looking at I wish I had our developers standing right here, but we do already have some systems in place, but we're actually looking at different means of transferring the data. So we have APIs, I'm gonna say it wrong, but DLLs. And there are other means, and the clients, depending on their end goals, they may use that to put into their own dashboards, but then we also have dashboards that exist on our side as well, and they're custom. So a client can come to us and they might say, like, I want to know how many trucks delivered to this location every hour, and we're tracking that data. The other part of this is that all the data tied to trucking is component specific. So if you think of it similar to AbaData maps, it's one thing. So if we're talking about a well and you have a truck coming from a well, we would know, is the tank associated with that well? And so then that everything can sort of be tied back to the component. Maybe it's actually just associated with that tank, and we can see all of the deliveries associated with that tank. So in our world, I say components, we also call them assets, but they're data points, I probably have to back up with us here, that exist on a map, and you can see them. And in theory, we can go into our database, click on a data point and pull up the history going back, I mean, at least to 2017, and we'd have to dig in to go a little bit further, but if everything exists and it's there. I hope that helps answer your question. Okay. Was there another question in the back? Yeah. It was you.
Yep. On the APIs, when we create a new form, do we have to request to use the API endpoint created, or is it immediately available to us?
Yeah, it's actually I think Steve's here. No, we usually, it's updated within a few hours. Yeah, probably before anybody would complete a form, we've added it to the API. And depending on how often the API updates, that data can be pulled.
Okay, and a little bit more on that. On the report side, are we able to query the data that is used in those reports through the APIs, or do we still have to go into the report?
Okay, wait. You want to know who's using the reports?
No, just the data that we use to generate the report. So if you're looking at a production report or whether you're customized reports, are we able to query this data to an API to say, here's all the information going into that report?
So we have a Forms API. We don't currently have a production API. We usually, there's different ways that we communicate to clients' field data capture systems. Everything is custom. So, so how those files are transferred is unique to actually every single client, because every client we has a different field data capture system. Yeah, I hope that helps. But we could build it. Was there another? Yeah?
But on the service request,
Yeah,
who fills those requests?
the operator.
So the operator would make the phone call as well?
No, did I leave out this piece of the puzzle? I need to go back to my other diagram. No, so when a service request is completed, we have different ways that this works depending on the vendor. So I'll call the trucking company a vendor. So we do have different options, but one is an operator can log in, or not an operator, a vendor can log into the opLYNX web portal, and they can pull all of their service requests for the day, or they can check every 5 minutes. Like, assuming an operator can sync their tablet. So it's all well and good. You might be on site. They might do 9 service requests for all of their tanks. You know, everybody's pretty busy. But as soon as they have cell service, they have to sync to send the data to the central server. Now, other things that exist, APIs for vendors, so they can see their service requests that way. Or they can go, we have quite a few that just have a specialty, like a specialized login for opLYNX, so they only see their own data. Yeah. I should have explained that. Yeah.
I'm curious about this phase as a projectiles. When did it start? Where are you in the project? That should see was at the whole next fall. That.
Yeah, great question. So I think the idea first came around in November 2024. There is an opLYNX dedicated team of developers. Shout out to Jefferson up the back. We got a couple here. And then there was additional, I'll say AbaData team members. Like we have our in-house designer. So he did all of the layouts for every single screen. And then we did have internal members that are really specialized in field data capture that would speak to, you can't put that button there. Operators will never click on it if it's there and different things like that. But it actually was a really extensive overhaul. And Jefferson, you have to forgive me because I'm probably going to get the technical details wrong. But they wanted to maintain the core functionality, but in order to do the redesign of the interface, they actually had to rewrite everything. Copying old code for how production is calculated and things like that. So it took, I'd say, from concept, November 2024, till now, and now we're in the phase of rolling it out to the clients. So 2 days ago, we made our final version for prod for every client, and now we're going to get into rolling it out. But we've done weeks and weeks of user acceptance testing just to make sure everybody was happy, and we added new features. If an operator out there and says like, I need to trend my tickets, it's like, okay, we'll add the button and get it in there. How are we for time? Not bad. All right, is there anything else? I did have a second prize. Who was our second question? Oh, Stacy, yeah.
Is there a roadmap to an extremely spanning to keep up back to the side of it to that will be able to is there any set on the roadmap?
I actually think, Amit will speak to this afternoon, but I do believe that is on the roadmap. Yeah, which is really exciting. It's sort of like an in-house dispatch. I mean, I won't give anything away, but yes, there is a framework. So it's very exciting that basically opLYNX would function as like a dispatch service.
One other, we've never heard something about it, but is there any plans using the machine learning that AbaData has, writing guides to look at maybe steps?
Yeah.
Service requests and get your account based off?
Yes, so I would say in the future, so what Stacy is talking about, so it's predictive modeling. So you know your wells make this much every day. Your tanks fill up at this rate with your oil, water, sand, or whatever it is. And so it can anticipate when you would need to order a truck and essentially creating that. And we have looked at that. In terms of like the immediate roadmap, I don't think that's on it, but it is something that we have sort of maybe year 2. Yeah, for sure. But that one's really exciting. I'm a nerd when it comes to that production stuff. All right, is there anything else? Oh, yeah.
Say the button under 2.0.
Yes.
See it, is it up with the location system?
No, it's in the settings. Yes.
Plant operators. If they don't have 30 kilometers an hour, they walk around a ton of time.
They just have to walk really fast. Yeah, but it's really, I mean, once you get in there, Nathan, you'll see like everything has a faster response time than older remotes. When you click on a button, it loads right away. So, yeah, that is a save click. We'll keep that in mind for next time. We always want to save an operator a click. For anybody that is interested in the production module or wants to talk about forms, we're here all day. So feel free to come up and chat with us. Yeah, we can geek out on all things opLYNX if you'd like to. So thanks everybody for attending.
Yes, thanks everyone. Appreciate it.